Good morning, H here again, coming at you with a video, continuing the series on Inventor tutorial. This is the continuation of video that was about the line tool, tutorial number 2. This will be tutorial number 3. We still have our line drawing open here that showed the length of line and the angle, and we were talking about this. We are currently in a part mode, in a part file in sketch mode with our sketch active. We can see all the signs of that. Our sketch tab is highlighted. We have the finish sketch option here. And we have our sketch one that is currently opened with everything else grayed out in the model browser, our model browser being right here. So I wanted to also look at this point in time, the circle tool. So the circle tool, let's hold it for here for a moment. Circle tool, okay, the center point circle. It's also accessible, as most of these tools are, through a shortcut on the keyboard. So Control-Shift-C is shown there, and it creates a circle using a center point and a radius. Specify the circle center point and then dynamically specify the radius with the cursor. You can use the surrounding geometry to help with that input. So we go to the circle tool, and again, I'm just going to click somewhere. Notice again, in our environment here, we have our X value, Y value coordinates, right? This is coordinate, 1 in mathematics, where the X value is positive, the Y value is positive. Over here, coordinate 2, the X value is negative and the Y value is positive. And then we have coordinate 3 here, which is both our negative values, X and Y. And then this over here, the X is positive, the Y is negative for coordinate area 4. In mathematics, it would be listed as such. So our cursor, our mouse, while circle tool is active, you notice here with my mouse cursor over here, if we look over where the circle tool is, it is highlighted and open. So we are in that tool currently, right? So the highlighted tool is always shows what we're in. So if I click with my mouse and I can expand this. Now, what's interesting is in the tool, it says the selected radius. In this instance here, it's actually giving us the dimension of the diameter of this circle, right? So there's a dotted line, and it's hard to see, but it makes contact with the text box that currently has the number value in it. Even as I expand and contract, those dotted line appears there, and where that text box is. So it's measuring the full diameter of this circle. So we could type in a number like 0.75 and hit enter, and now we have a circle that has that specific dimension of that diameter. And it has a center point here. And in center point, we haven't really defined where this circle is on this grid space, right? If we have x-axis and y-axis here, x is horizontal and y is vertical, this circle could be located anywhere. But we have not specified that. We didn't specify where this point was with X and Y when we made it. So with every circle, you always need to include in a circle's position, in a circle that's drawn in a sketch, where that circle is dimensionally, horizontally, and vertically. So there's 3 dimensions that are needed for every circle. There's the diameter or radius of the circle, and then there's its X placement value and its Y placement value, where this center point is, right? And we can see this concept when we look about and talk about the idea of constraints, which we talked about in the user interface slightly, and we'll talk about more. Dimensioning and these constraint tools here, they set up rules that these entities, like a circle or a line or a rectangle or whatever happens to be in here, they have to follow these rules, right? Constraints are rules that the sketches have to follow. And so the circle here does not have enough rules currently set on it in order to keep it in place so it no longer moves about the space 3-dimensionally, right? So we have this 3-dimensional space and we can drag the circle around and basically put it anywhere. But if we set up some rules for this circle to follow, it would no longer do that. The biggest location you can look for this when you're sketching is right here at the bottom right-hand corner. It says 2 dimensions needed, right? And we already knew this technically because we know that the X value is needed and the Y value is needed. So we need those 2 dimensions in order to lock this circle in place to fully constrain this sketch. Again, a fully constrained sketch just communicates that all the information has been given into the sketch. Everything has a placement and a location that is set and cannot be varied or displaced in any way through clicking and dragging. And so it fully constrains the sketch. In SolidWorks, we would also call this fully defined. Everything is defined, all the dimensions are in there, all the constraint tools and relations are in there. And so these constraint tools and our dimension tool are used for this specific reason. So if I dimension this and go to the dimension tool, it's highlighted there for me now, and I click on the circle itself. I could try to click on the center point, that'd be absolutely fine. Because if I click on the circle itself and then go to our origin point here, X is 0, Y is 0 at the origin point here, I can actually click a couple times and start editing this dimension here and make this 1, right? And then this dimension now, this X dimension is 1 for the center of the circles. Now this is still moving. I want to show you this. This is still moving. I can move this up and down on the Y axis, but I cannot no longer move it to the right or to the left because the center point must stay and follow the rule that it is 1 inch away from this origin point. X is 0, Y is 0 is the origin point of this sketch mode, right? So then we could set up another dimension and do the circle again. I can click on the center point this time to show you there's really no difference, right? And then do a 1/2 inch there. And here we're kind of intersecting this line here that we originally drew, and that's absolutely fine. It's just to show you that the dimensions are there. We can shorten this up a bit if we needed to, maybe 0.25 and shorten it down, so the height of this, the Y value where the center of this circle is located is Y equals 0.25, this spot right here. And then it's also X value of 1 inch away. And as we put those 2 dimensions in there, we can see right here, we are fully constrained. We have everything defined, everything has dimension, everything has placement. So a good thing to know is that whenever you use the circle tool, you always want to make sure that you have these 3 dimensions or something like these dimensions, constrained tools as we look at them, to define and set where this circle is so that it is no longer mobile. It is set in place. It is exactly where it needs to be, and it's the size that is required for whatever design you are creating. So we have that circle there. All right, this has been tutorial 3, kind of all about the circle tool. And we looked at the line tool in tutorial 2. So we'll use these 2 components, the line tool and the circle tool, as we go into our first part file replication video, which will be next, all about the filter plate 2-8, which was previewed in an earlier video as well. So we're going to use these 2 ideas, these 2 tool concepts in the sketch mode to do that. So we'll see you next time when we do that. Have a great day.